So one of the questions I get asked quite often is, how did you get your bench so big? I'm definitely not made for the bench. I've got long arms, I'm not really big, I don't have a big arch, but something I've worked on for a very long time, and something I think that we do differently at Thompson's Gym than other people do is we don't just flat bench a couple times a week. We add a lot of bench variation into our workouts. So one of my favorite variations is the band press. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to set it up, and then why it is such a great exercise. Band presses are really good for so many aspects of, for just the bench. It's one of the reasons I think we're so good at the bench is because of all the variations we throw in to not just work it on flat, work in different aspects of that bench and different forms of exercise. So with the bands, you're really working on those stability muscles, which is great. But really you're working on the speed of the bar from the chest to the top. The faster you are, force equals mass times acceleration, the easier it is to press. The slower you push, the harder it is. The faster you go, the easier it is to finish. And then because it gets so hard at the top, we practice what we call the pinky squeeze. So basically, it's like pull the bar apart. So when you're getting from about here to here, I really work on squeezing these last 2 fingers as hard as I can into my palm. And what that does is when you do that, it turns your triceps in a little bit and helps you finish. So I'm really working on speed from here to here, and then I'm squeezing hard at the top to finish it. And then back down again, fast squeeze. So that's really working on the speed of the lift, but you're also working on the top part of the bench as well, and then you're gaining some stability also. We throw these in on like an accessory day. So we have our flat bench workout that we do on one day, and then several days later we have an accessory upper body day where we're doing closed grip benches and things like that. And so we throw in the band presses on more like a tricep day. So I hope that helps. So we're pretty lucky that we have a nice competition style bench. You don't have to have one of these to do band presses. You can do them on any bench, but this is nice for us. So what we did was we purchased a few attachments for bands. We have, this is just an attachment. We made a little mark where we want the band to line up, and it goes into any bench really that has like an open hole at the end. And then this just slides in here. I'm gonna make this look really hard when it's not. And so you can wrap the bands around this, and then lots of benches usually have some sort of post or something around it. And then we also have band lifts. Sent us these. These are cool little contraptions. You don't necessarily have to have them. You can always wrap them around the bar, but this makes it pretty easy. You just slide it on the bar like this, and then we take our band. We have the 1-inch bands because this provides a lot of tension. So we slide it through the hole here, just line up the loops, and then we're going to pull it up, pull it through, and that's a lot of tension. We'll do that to both sides. The downside is you do have to take out the safeties to use the band, so you want to make sure you have good spotters and loaders while you're doing these.
With a deal at Whole Foods Market.
Yep, nice.
Certified organic whole chickens for $2.99 per pound. Save through January 28th.
Yep. Anyone here? Yep. Push. Nice.
Good thing your favorite song came on.
Okay, so let's say at your gym you don't have this wonderfully awesome competition bench. So you can still use bands. What you want to do is take some heavy dumbbells and put them underneath the bench. So I just took some 80s and lined them up. You're going to take 2 rubber bands and then just sort of loop them together, pull them through one another like so. Now this isn't going to have as much tension as the variation I just showed you. So you can probably do a thicker band, maybe start with the 1-inch. But when we're doing the bench set that way, we actually use the 2-inch band, okay? So if you go on that side road. And so what you do is you just feed this through. Okay, you want the knot to be right in the center between the two rubber bands, and we're just go right over the outside. Okay, and then you're just gonna pull it through like this. Okay, and it helps if you have a plate on first, even if it's just a 10-pound plate. And then you might have to get under here and adjust this just a little bit, but you want that knot like right underneath where the bar is gonna hit on your chest. So you might want to try it with a 1-inch band. If that's super easy, go up to the 2-inch band. So Brody, my son Brody, is just started implementing these into his bench program. So we are using the pink bands, and they're wrapped once at a longer length. And so he's going to show us a few reps here. Good job. To the 5. So he's definitely getting better at these, but you can tell there's still a little bit of this, but this gets strengthened as you do them more often. So after you've sort of become more advanced, you can go up to a tighter band. This is the bench we very first started on. It was built probably in the 80s, and it's got one of these little wonky bars that goes through the bottom. So we actually started band pressing on this bench right here, way before you were born, Brody Thompson. So same thing, it's actually easier because you don't need the dumbbells. We're going to say that probably you're going to be hitting the bar right about here. So we're just going to lift up the top and thread it underneath. And then we're going to put the knot right in the center of where we think you're going to hit. Put the band down, and then it helps if you have somebody to do it with you. You ready? 1, 2, 3, pull. And then we have little marks right here, so we know that we're putting it centered up every single time. And so doesn't matter what kind of bench you have, there's no excuses for not doing band presses, right, bro? All right. If for some reason you can't set up your bench for bands in any of the 3 ways that I showed you, honestly the easiest way, but not necessarily the safest way, but the easiest way really to do bands is to just put your hands in them, wrap them around your back like this, and then you can grab the bar or dumbbells and then just bench this way. It's probably the least safe. But if it's your only option, you can still do bands without any of the setups that I described.